भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपादा जय श्रील प्रभुपादा प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री ललिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायपुर नवदीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। युग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद पुस्तक वितरण की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. All goodies to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All goodies to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All goodies to Shri Guru and Gaurang. All goodies to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakhaya. चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरः श्रीयोतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गुरुवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासति गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Devotees, please accept our humble obeisances onto your lotus feet. So we are reading from On Speaking Strongly in Srila Prabhupada's service. We are in page number 17, chapter 1, chapter entitled Preaching Means Fighting. Yes. The whole world is running on a false theory that life is born out of matter. But that is not a fact. So, how to defeat this theory? That is our business. We have to defeat this rascal theory. We have to challenge all these rascals and defeat them. We have to make a program, because this is most misleading. The whole human society is affected by this misleading theory. We have to make program, go from place to place and invite all big men, all scientists. That program we have to make. We cannot allow this nonsense theory to go on. We must do something. So we have to challenge, protest, defeat. This will be our work. Our worshipping Krishna, our worshipping of Krishna is our internal affair. The external affair, we need to establish this theory. Make plan how to meet them, how to defeat them, catch them on their throat. We are not ordinary so-called swamis and sadhus. We are going to give to the world something which they forgot. The people of the world should be taught to hear the transcendental topics of the Lord, and the devotee of the Lord must speak loudly so that they can hear. We should speak very loudly and expose these bogus men. Let our philosophy be challenged by anyone and we shall defeat them. Regarding the rascal Bharati, yes, capture this rascal and defeat him in debating and prove him as a rascal number one. Somebody claims that he is Krishna himself. Somebody is greater than Krishna. Somebody says Krishna has no form. Somebody says that Krishna is dead, and so on. Our program is to offer vehement protest against all these nonsensical declarations. Make a plan. Go from town to town all over the world. This has to be done. If you are mischievous, you are criminal. But if you tolerate mischievous activities, that is also criminal. Challenge these rascals. Stop their rascal theories. So many wrong things are going on in the name of nationalism, in the name of scientific advancement, and people are suffering. Everybody has bluffed so long, and we have to stop them. This is our moment. The rascals are flourishing by cheating and bluffing. This should be stopped. How much important is our moment? Just try to understand. Their whole program is to defy God, and our program is to declare war against these rascals. So Prabhupada, in time and now, he's telling to declare a war against these people who deceive or mislead people. So continuing. In war, there is a time for fighting and a time for making peace. But war is mostly fighting. The battlefield is no place for pacifists or cowards. Those who do not fight are already defeated. Without attacking, no one can win. Srila Prabhupada exalted over his disciple Hamsadutta Swami. Srila Prabhupada exulted over his disciple Hamsadutta Swami's public defeat of one Dr. Kovur, who at that time was Sri Lanka's most prominent proponent of atheism. Asterisk. Srila Prabhupada enthusiastically endorsed that the altercation between Hamsadutta Swami and Dr. Kovur be included within a publication featuring certain of Srila Prabhupada's own conversations that debunk pseudo scientific theories. Thus, the Kovur exchange appears as an appendix to Life Comes from Life, a BBT book that has been printed in the millions. Continuing. Upon having Hansadutta Swami's points read to him, Srila Prabhupada noted he is putting very strong arguments. This is preaching. There is virtually no limit to how aggressive a devotee may be in attacking the agents of Maya. Sorry, I wanted to tell something. So I think many devotees have read this Hamsadutta Swami's conversation with Kovur. So if you have not read, please read it. It is very interesting. You should read it once at least. The Kovur giving useless arguments and Hamsadutta Swami giving combating Dr. Kovur's arguments. We should read again and again. There are many points in that to defeat atheism. Atheistic scientists, basically. There is virtually no limit to how aggressive a devotee may be in attacking the agents of Maya. In 1977, devotees were taken to court in New York on charges of brainwashing. Srila Prabhupada ordered a disciple who was defending the nationally publicized case to be shockingly provocative in response. Yes, brainwashing, because you have got so much stool in your brain. We require to wash it. It is my thankless duty to wash it. You should have thanked me, but you are so full, you are condemning. Tell them that like that. You are proud of your civilization. Licking of the vagina, different, obnoxious smell. You are less than the dog. The dog likes to smell the vagina. You are like that. Why are you searching after dog vagina? This vagina, that vagina, that vagina. Is that civilization? Expose them like that. Your brain is filled with so much stool. So we are washing it. This is a good opportunity in the court so that it will be published. People will know what is our philosophy. Licking the vagina civilization. Publish. Undoubtedly, devotees cannot expect a very smooth life in preaching. Fighting is not easy. Preaching is also difficult. That I am repeatedly saying. You cannot take preaching as very easy going. Preaching must be a fight. Do you mean to say fighting is easy? Fighting is not easy. Whenever there is a fight, there is danger. There is responsibility. What is preaching? Because people are ignorant, we have to enlightenment. We have to enlighten them. That is preaching. Krishna consciousness will not immediately be accepted. But nevertheless, we should fight to win. And Krishna will help us. It is not that everyone will immediately accept your Krishna consciousness. We have to meet opposing elements. The more we successfully meet them, that is the success of preaching. We have to always win. Yes, We always win if we have complete faith in Krishna. Then, as we preach and answer, we will always win. Krishna is God. If we are on his side, we will always win. Chapter 2, No Compromise. Strong speaking may be considered in two divisions: clear delineation of the message of Krishna consciousness, and forcefulness and provocativeness in delivering that message. The essence of strong speaking lies in the former. Since the message of Krishna consciousness is inherently strong and clear, real preaching of that message must also be strong and clear without any compromise. Compromise means to understate, obfuscate, or deliberately misstate the message given by Krishna and Acharyas. As is apparent from the entire message of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's exhorting Arjuna to annihilate ungodly elements, it is even a compromise to fail to oppose all misconceptions and falsehoods, to avoid the fight that genuine preachers entails. The word Jiva Himsa, that is, envy of other living entities, actually means stopping the preaching of Krishna consciousness. Preaching work is described as paropakara, welfare activity for others. Those who are ignorant of the benefits of devotional service must be educated by preaching. If one stops preaching and simply sits down in a solitary place, he is engaging in material activity. If one desires to make a compromise with Mayavadis, he is also engaged in material activity. A devotee should never make compromises with non devotees. As a perfect servant of his lion guru, who termed those who compromised as good for nothing, Srila Prabhupada never compromised, nor did he want his disciples to compromise. The fact is that I am the only one in India who is openly criticizing not only demigod worship and impersonalism, but everything that falls short of complete surrender to Krishna. My Guru Maharaj never compromised in his preaching, nor will I, nor should any of my students. We are firmly convinced that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and all others are his part and parcel servants. This we must declare boldly to the whole world. We are facing so many difficulties. We don't care for it. We never compromise. All my students will never compromise. Why shall I compromise? If I am confident that I am speaking the truth, why shall I compromise? Those who are not confident of his position will compromise. One who does not know where he stands will compromise. And if I know where I am standing, why shall I compromise? Let others do whatever they like. This is their position. This is our position. When you become actually preacher of God consciousness, you cannot make any compromise. You must call a spade a spade. When we deliberately discuss on Shastras, there is no question of compromising. We must face the bare facts. We don't make any flattery to satisfy the whims of the audience. We speak from Srimad Bhagavatam. We speak from Bhagavad Gita and present them as it is without any adulteration. This is our position. If you like, then you can make progress. If you don't like, that is your opinion. That is your option. But we cannot make any compromise. We must present the Shastra as it is. You must keep exactly on the line of the Acharyas. Then you will be successful to present the real picture of Krishna consciousness. As soon as we adulterate or add something of our own manufacture, the whole thing is spoiled. Krishna says, Sarva dharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Let aside everything. Just become my devotee, a surrendered soul. So we are preaching that we don't make compromise. Therefore, all people are against me because this man simply says Krishna, but I cannot say anything more. We cannot compromise to satisfy others. We don't make any compromise. What we believe, we are preaching that. People are accepting. So you believe or not believe, it doesn't matter for us. An anecdote from New York, 1966. To speak ill of sexual pleasure was certainly not a strategic move for one who wanted to create followers among the Lower East Side hippies. But Prabhupada never considered changing his message. In fact, when Umapati had mentioned that Americans don't like to hear that sex was only for conceiving children, Prabhupada had replied, I cannot change the philosophy to please the Americans. At a festival in Hawaii in 1969, on encountering a bogus group that was glorifying a supposed incarnation of Rama and Krishna, Govinda Dasi began to speak loudly so that all could hear. You have no scripture, you have no disciplic succession. You are blindly following the teachings of this rascal. What proof do you have that this man is God? Has he shown you any evidence? Krishna lifted Govardhan hill as a child when he appeared on this planet. But this man has not done any wonderful thing. Rather, I see by this picture that he is old and wrinkled, ugly, ready for death to take him. And yet you so foolishly believe that he is God. In the Vedas, the avatars' appearances are fully described along with the birthplace and philosophy of each avatar. There is no mention of this rascal. You say that he is the last avatar of this age. But the Vedic authorities say that Kalki will come in 4,27,000 years. You fail to mention Lord Chaitanya, who appeared 486 years ago and propagated the Sankirtan movement all over India, who drenched the universe in love of Godhead. His mission, his golden color, everything was described by Vyasadeva. He's the everything was described by Vyasadeva, the compiler of all the Vedas, 5,000 years ago. But instead of accepting the authorized incarnation of Lord Chaitanya, you believe the word of an ordinary man who tells you, I am God, and you can become God too, without even asking for scriptural evidence of proof of his lordship. That is very unfortunate. In the last half century, so many of these cheaters have come to this country from India to mislead the people, proclaiming, I am God, and holding in their hand a cigarette or a wine bottle. What kind of foolishness is this? We are all suffering in this material world, kicked this way and that like dogs, and yet you say you are God. You can never become God. You are conditioned, controlled by God. God is supreme, you are minute. Qualitatively, you are one with God. In your pure spiritual state, you have godly qualities, but you can never become quantitatively as great as God. We are simultaneously one and different. Qualitatively one, but quantitatively different. Like the gold ring and the gold mine. The quality is the same, but one is far more vast. Krishna states it plainly in Bhagavad Gita. My dear Arjuna, all these living beings are my parts and parcels. But instead of accepting Krishna's words as they are, you are listening to some fool who will only mislead you. He can never give you any proof of his lordship. Krishna showed his universal form. He said to Arjuna, you just surrender unto me. But rather than do that simple thing, you chose to follow the imperfect speculations of some so-called Swami and consequently you are being completely misled. One man who was unable to defeat the further arguments presented by Gaur Sundar Das, that is Govinda Dasi's husband, became so irate that he severely struck Gaur Sundar on the chin. On receiving the report of this preaching adventure, Srila Prabhupada penned a reply. I am so much pleased by your endeavor. I am so much pleased by reading your letter of June 26, 1969, describing your preaching activities in Hawaii, both husband and wife together. It is very much pleasing to me. I was shocked when I heard that Gaur Sundar was hurt on the chin. But at the same time, I was so much enlivened by hearing of your spirited preaching activities. I am proud that a little young girl like you is so much spirited in preaching Krishna consciousness. Undoubtedly, I was very much sorry to learn about Gaur Sundar being attacked by a fanatic, but don't be disheartened. Even Nityananda also faced such difficult problems, but try to avoid them as far as possible. The whole world is full of fanatics and atheistic class of men. So sometimes we have to face such difficulties. But this is all tapasya. Without tapasya, nobody can approach Krishna. So preachers who boldly face all kinds of difficulties are considered to be under tapasya, and Krishna takes note of such tapasya of the devotee, and the devotee is recognized by him. I have asked the BTG men to publish very heroic preaching activities under the heading of Heroine Govinda Dasi. So I am sure Krishna is very much pleased by this incident, and he will surely bestow his blessings both on you and Gaur Sundar. To preach straightforwardly without compromise or timidly was Srila Prabhupada's policy and also his instruction to his followers. Indeed, it is the right and duty of a Brahmana to openly enunciate what is correct and what is not. Brahmana means as it is. They will describe that is Brahmana. It is particularly the duty of sannyasis who are meant to be strong minded, fearless preaching leaders to present the message of Shastra persuasively, forcefully, and without compromise. It is therefore particularly disappointing and inapt when sannyasis habitually fail to do so. Some disciples of Srila Prabhupada once informed him that at an interfaith meeting in Toronto in 1975, one of Srila Prabhupada's sannyasi godbrothers had presented Vaishnavism as if it were just in a matter similar to how Srila Prabhupada would have spoken. Some of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada once informed him that at an interfaith meeting in Toronto in 1975, one of Srila Prabhupada's sannyasi godbrothers had presented Vaishnavism as if it were just another way without giving any strong argument, not as it is, or in a manner similar to how Srila Prabhupada would have spoken, and that an ISKCON devotee present there had proposed switching the discussion from relative considerations of different religions to an analysis of what is absolute truth, whereupon the godbrother had scolded that devotee as being unknowledgeable and contentious. In a later conversation about this incident, Srila Prabhupada dismissed that sannyasi godbrother as a rascal who was simply after some following. Of course, it is not that only sannyasis must speak strongly. Many of Srila Prabhupada's most caustic writings are from his pre-sannyas days. Even during his Grihastha life, Srila Prabhupada always unpretentiously delineated the truth, which he knew can and should be known by everyone, the same truth that the absolute truth himself declares. I am easily available, sulabha, to those who are sincere enough to accept me. Anyone who sincerely seeks to know and serve the truth is a real sadhu. Those who have any other agenda constitute cheaters and the cheated. Srila Prabhupada's unambiguous revelation of absolute truth, Krishna as he is, left no excuse to anyone for not surrendering onto Krishna. With courage founded on absolute conviction, Srila Prabhupada refused to meekly evade conflict and he directly addressed challenges. Sometimes one Dr. Patel, accompanying Srila Prabhupada on walks on Juhu Beach, Mumbai, would criticize Srila Prabhupada for his unceasingly denunciation of everything and everyone else. Dr. Patel, you are so very hard and harsh, Srila Prabhupada. I must be hard. The whole world is spoiled by these Mayavadis. Therefore, I am very hard. We must be harder and harder. I don't make any compromise with these rascals. Dr. Patel, with all due respect, sir, we must have some sort of forbearance for others' view. Srila Prabhupada, no, because if we have got to preach, we cannot make any compromise. Dr. Patel, you feel that way? We have no objection, but we should also respect somebody else's views. Srila Prabhupada, no, we have got all respect, but not unnecessary respect. Dr. Patel, but even unnecessary respect, sometimes you unnecessarily go beyond according to the no, we have respect, but a thief should be called a thief. That is truth. Dr. Patel, you are the magistrate and you are the judge and you are the Srila Prabhupada. No, I am not the judge. I am talking on the basis of Bhagavad Gita. Namam dushkritino mudaha prapadyante naradhamaha. One who is a naradhama, he does not surrender to Krishna. That is the judgment. We accept him as naradhama. That's all. Whatever he may be. Dr. Patel, you have been bracketing so many people with the bad, and I feel strongly about this philosophy of yours. Srila Prabhupada, where are good people? All rascals. Let them come. Yes, I shall kick on their face. I am so strong. Where is a good man? I have actually kicked that Balayogi. He's a dog in a public meeting. If anybody is a Mayavadi, he's a dog. Kick him on his face. When introduced a PhD candidate in biology in Atlanta, Srila Prabhupada remarked, poor frogs, and pointed out the fault of killing them, a standard practice in biology. Similarly, in Philadelphia in 1975, a professor from Temple University came to meet Srila Prabhupada, who promptly inquired, what do you preach? Hinduism? The man answered. What do you mean by Hinduism? The professor, thinking to give a clever reply, said, I don't know. Srila Prabhupada retorted, then you are a cheater, for you are purporting to teach that which you do not know. The professor became livid. It got heavier and heavier. A shouting match began. But eventually the professor admitted, Yes, I am a cheater, but I am an honest cheater. Refusing this olive branch, Srila Prabhupada shot back. You say you are honest, but the judgment of a cheater cannot be accepted. The professor demanded that Srila Prabhupada could tell him what Hinduism is, and Srila Prabhupada said, first you become shave-headed like these. Then I will teach you. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. The professor responded, I did. When I came in, I offered my pranams. He offered his hands together. Then Prabhupada together. Then Prabhupada said, then my first instruction to you is to stop this cheating business. Some graduate students who were present could hardly believe what Srila Prabhupada was doing to him. Also in 1975, when some theologians from University of South California visited Srila Prabhupada at the Los Angeles ISKCON temple, he spoofed their term modern technology and told them that they were illogical and declared, you do not know God, you are trying to find out God. This is not theology. Theologist means one who knows God and abides by his order. Srila Prabhupada insisted, we are presenting God, here is God, and big acharyas like have accepted Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Lord Chaitanya. And in our disciplic succession, my Guru Maharaj, and I am preaching, this is God. I am not presenting a God whimsically. I am presenting a God who is recognized. So why don't you accept? What is the difficulty? When Dr. Judah, who was openly appreciative of Srila Prabhupada and his followers, suggested that because of the theologians were older, it was difficult for them to change. Srila Prabhupada responded, then you are not serious about God. Nartaki Devi Dasi, who had been present, later commented, he had to be strict because actually they are cheating. They are presenting themselves as authorities and teaching at big universities, and they get all kinds of degrees, and naturally a very young student will take them as an authority. But that is cheating because they don't even know about God, and we are presenting themselves as someone who does not know. And therefore, people are wasting their time hearing these kinds of speculations. Bahulashwadas further observed, when most of his professors came, Prabhupada was always ready to take them on. He didn't get friendly with many of these professors, but when he would always encourage me to bring more, then we would work hard to cultivate a relationship to get them to come out to see Prabhupada, and then Prabhupada would just smash whatever their philosophy was or whatever their point of view was. But there were a few that Prabhupada liked, like Dr. Judah. And I think that was more because they came with a devotional attitude. They didn't come as if they were the great erudite scholars. When they came, they had a sense of what Prabhupada was. They knew they were in the presence of a holy person, and then Prabhupada would treat them differently. But if they came all arrogant and puffed up, then Srila Prabhupada would immediately say, and so, what is your philosophy? What are you thinking about this? And he would immediately challenge them and just tear them to shreds. Prabhupada would go right, Prabhupada would go right at them and usually be very challenging. I think Prabhupada wanted to use these interactions as a ways to give the devotees the confidence not to be afraid to speak up. Prabhupada was showing how to do it, regardless of what their positions were, to present Krishna consciousness fearlessly, not to hold upon and overlay polite. Although some devotees object to adopt such aggressiveness will spoil his cause preaching, actually the opposite is true. Without clear delineation of Siddhanta, that is proper philosophical conclusions regarding Krishna consciousness, all other processes for bringing people to Krishna consciousness remain unfulfilled. As Harishori Das observed, the revolutionary instinct is one of the things that he has made Prabhupada so successful in his preaching. He tells things as it is. Thus, real preaching necessitates presenting the message of Srila Prabhupada and of Krishna transparently and without compromise. When inevitably devotees are questioned about the many explosive statements in Srila Prabhupada's books, they must reply along the same lines that Srila Prabhupada himself taught to such inquirers and challengers, without attempting to downplay, avoid, or disown Srila Prabhupada's stance. Loyal followers of Srila Prabhupada never betray him by attempting to recast or obfuscate his teachings. For instance, by merely acquiescing with standard socially accepted view norms. Yes, we also feed the poor, run schools and hospitals, recycle our trash, support government devotees against terrorism. Such banalities suggest that devotees have nothing original to contribute, that they parrot the same trite formulae as everyone else and thus are hardly worth listening to. But ya nisha sarva bhutanam yes tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munaihe. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self control, and the time of awakening for all living beings is the night for the introspective sage. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 69. Krishna consciousness means to see the world as the Supreme Personality of Godhead sees it. Therefore, a devotee's understanding is categorically different from that of a non-devotee. A devotee, for whatever reason, habitually speaks like a non-devotee, he thereby virtually becomes a non-devotee. Chapter 3. Loyalty to Krishna. Preach only what you have heard from Krishna and Guru, that's all. Don't add and subtract. Then you are secure. Throughout the ages, Krishna consciousness has been preached in varying circumstances. Yet the essential philosophical presentation has always been the same. That is because the fundamental truths of Sambandha Jnana, or Krishna's supremacy and of the subordination to him of the jivas and all else that be, are eternal and immutable. Furthermore, whatever the external circumstances, the allurements that Maya presents to the conditioned souls always fulfill always fall into the same general categories of karma, that is worldly sense gratification, and jnana, that is intellectual or quasi intellectual predilections that generally tend towards impersonalism. Srila Prabhupada made some behavioral adjustments necessary for pioneering Krishna consciousness outside its traditional culture milieu. Yet he presented the teaching of Krishna consciousness in basically the same way as had all previous acharyas, for the simple reason that regardless of prevailing conditions, the philosophy never changes. Krishna is always supreme, and all else is eternally subordinate to him. Therefore, the formula for successful preaching is simple: who God is can be assumed up in only 5 words. Krishna is supreme controller. If you become convinced of this and preach it enthusiastically, success is assured, and you will be doing the greatest service for all living entities. So you continue more and more to serve Krishna, and he will help you. This is the message of Krishna and Parampara, and sincere servants of Krishna and the Parampara never consider transmitting anything different. We sincerely serve Krishna, and we are sincere servants of his lordship, and we present things as presented by Krishna, and that is the test of a bona fide position and our bona fide presentation. As the origin, sustainer, and ultimate goal of Vedic culture, Krishna reinforces its core quality of intolerance towards various deviations from the correct understanding of Vedic knowledge. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he repeatedly condemns various fallacies, stating that their adherents are fools and rascals. He summarizes the whole panoply of ignorance and ignoramuses. Thus, namam dushkritano moodaha prapadyanti naradhamaha maya apahrita jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. Those miscreants who are foolish, who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among the mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake in the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Srila Prabhupada said that this verse is very important. And he explained that his own use of explicit words was not according to his personal opinion, but that he was simply restating what Krishna had said. Namam dushkritino moodaha prapadyante naradhamaha. These are the words used in Bhagavad Gita. It is not our manufactured word. People may be very unhappy or angry, but we have to quote from these scriptures. We must condemn anyone who is not Krishna conscious, and I don't condemn. Krishna condemns. Namam dushkritino moodaha. Everyone is rascal. How we so boldly say that everyone is? We condemn everyone. We condemn anyone who is not Krishna conscious. I don't condemn. Krishna condemns. Namam dushkritino moodaha. Everyone is rascal. How we so boldly say that everyone is? Because Krishna says, we are Krishnite. We have to follow. Just like a small child follows the talkings of his father and mother, so similarly we learn from Krishna. Krishna says, Namami dushkritino moodaha. Krishna says, we have learned from Krishna. As soon as we see that he is not a devotee of Krishna, then he is a rascal. How do we say? He is not my enemy. But we have to say because it is stated by Krishna. A man who is worshipped by so many people we call rascal. On what strength? The strength is this Krishna consciousness. We can prove that he is rascal. I am not speaking, Krishna is speaking. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Namam dushkritino mudaha. Mudaha. Muda means rascal. So I am repeating Krishna's word. Anyone who does not surrender onto Krishna, he is a rascal. So we can quote from Bhagavad Gita. If somebody brings case against us, so we can freely say that I am not speaking. It is said in Bhagavad Gita. Bring a label case against Bhagavad Gita. Why you are troubling me? If devotees feel discomfort instead of pleasure in hearing these words of Krishna's and avoid repeating such statements, it suggests that they do not have full faith in them. To not speak the truth is itself a contamination. One thus speaks half truths or non truths and becomes an enemy of the truth. As Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati stated, if I were to desist from speaking the impartial truth for fear that some listeners might be ruined, if I were to desist from speaking the impartial truth for fear that some listeners might be riled, I would be deviating from the path of Vedic truth to accept that of untruth. I would become inimical to the Vedas, an atheist, and would no longer possess faith in Bhagavan, the very embodiment of truth. If devotees are reluctant to speak Krishna's message without obfuscation, it suggests that they are still inclined towards the outlook of dushkritis, rascals, those who have no practical experience of the beauty and purity of Krishna and of Krishna consciousness may be confused by such uncompromising denunciations of material bodily gratification. But those who are enlightened in Krishna consciousness will be enlivened and enthused by such absolutely faithful, absolutely truthful statements. One who has real faith in Krishna follows in the footsteps of Arjuna and accepts all that Krishna says. Arjuna did not accept only some of Krishna's statements and whimsically ignore others. Rather, Arjuna declared, Sarvameta manye yamvam vadasi Keshava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Genuine followers of Krishna do not edit what he says, but accept it in toto. We accept Krishna's words. We don't tolerate this Mayavadi nonsense. We are right. Everyone who disagrees with Krishna is wrong. The devotee has been ordered to preach Krishna Upadesh, the instructions of Krishna. Krishna consciousness movement means to follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction is this: to preach Krishna Upadesh. And this is Krishna Upadesh. Namam dushkritino mudaha prapadyante naradhamaha. A devotee cannot avoid such instructions. Krishna calls non-devotees fools, rascals, and the lowest of mankind. And Srila Prabhupada demonstrated his loyalty to Krishna by unabashedly reiterating such terms, and devotees who are loyal to principle of Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chittete Kori Aikya Arna Koriyo Mane Asha, to accept the words of self-realized spiritual master as all in all, rejecting all else. Furthermore, follow Srila Prabhupada's example by speaking forthrightly. In doing so, by repeating what Krishna says, as he says it, strong speakers are likely to be disparaged by others. But Krishna likes them. He empowers sincere emissaries and they advance in Krishna consciousness. One who preaches this confidential knowledge without any compromise, he is the confidential servant of Krishna. There is no compromise. That is a real religion. Krishna says, Nachatasman manusheshu kashit me priyakrittamaha. This is the person who has received the authority to draw mercy water from ocean of mercy of Krishna. This Krishna consciousness movement is a challenge to all the rascals and fools. So those who have taken this movement very seriously should be very sober and understand at least you must expose all these rascals. You should be this Krishna conscious movement is a challenge to all the rascals and fools. So those who have taken this movement very seriously should be very sober and understand at least you must expose all these rascals. That will be very much appreciated by Krishna. Krishna immediately recognizes a preacher of Krishna consciousness who takes all risks to deliver his message. Krishna appreciates such strong preachers as his dearmost servants. So let us work very enthusiastically to drive away rascal philosophy and establish the real religion of Bhagavad Gita as it is. The more you fight with these rascals, the more you advance the Krishna consciousness. You are a fighting soldier. Krishna very much appreciates. Or, as Srila Prabhupada paraphrased Krishna as saying, nobody is dearer to me than he who takes all risks for preaching God consciousness. Hare Krishna, devotees. Today we will stop here. We will continue tomorrow from chapter 4, use of strong words. So, in the chat box, I will give the link of for ordering on speaking strongly in Srila Prabhupada's service book. So we request devotees, if you have it, you can order it for your distribution. You can again order it once more for giving as a gift also. Where is speaking strongly? Yeah. Oh, 1 second. So this is the link for the book. So this is the link for ordering the book, and this book is also in soft copy available in Kindle, Google Play, and Apple Books. So I will also give those links in the chat board, so that devotees can, if they want, they can order directly. If they want to read in their Kindle or tablet, they can even read from that. So this is the link for Google Play Books, and this is the link for next one is the link for Apple Books. Is iBooks also it is called as, and the Kindle version. Kindle version is also available. So this is Amazon Kindle version. So devotees could read it. Shidasham Prabhu asked a question. Name of the book, Prabhu. Link for the book, please. Please also give link of the book by Harikesh Prabhu you were mentioning. Harikesh Maharaj you were mentioning, Prabhu. That is not Harikesh Maharaj. That is a book called Life Comes from Life, wherein a conversation uh, is given in the appendix. The conversation is between Hamsadutta Swami and Dr. Kovur, giving arguments to defeat the atheistic arguments. So, one second, I will check in the base. I don't know whether it is there or not. I'm not able to find Prabhu, but I will try and maybe tomorrow I will get it. Okay. So thank you very much for participating. So we will meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you very much for your kind participation, and Hare Krishna. If you have anything to ask, you may ask. Raj Bharat is asking, can this book be distributed to neophytes in Krishna consciousness or who have not yet sufficiently read Srila Prabhupada's books? Yeah, the point is, can this book be distributed to neophytes in Krishna consciousness who have not yet sufficiently read Srila Prabhupada's books? They can simultaneously read this book. If they have not yet read all Srila Prabhupada's books, or at least not read at least some of the books of Prabhupada, it may be difficult, but if they read along with Prabhupada's books, they can very easily understand. Anybody can read. Anybody who reads Prabhupada's books can easily understand. So everybody in Krishna consciousness who are devotees, they can read this book. So it can be distributed. Rather, by reading this book, initially itself, all their doubts will be clarified. Initially itself, because many devotees over the period of being in Krishna consciousness, so many doubts may arise. Whether we can preach, whether we can use such words or not, which Prabhupada is using, whether we can speak like Prabhupada or not, whether you can use strong words. That chapter 4 we are going to read tomorrow. So many questions will be raised. But from the initial stage itself, if they read this book and along with that, if they read Prabhupada's books, then all their doubts regarding preaching, regarding preaching, like what we have read, as to no compromise, without compromising in the philosophy, without compromising on what Krishna has spoken, without compromising in the Shastra, without compromising the principles given in the Shastra, presenting as it is. From first itself, they will get trained. So this can be distributed even to the devotees who have not sufficiently read, but they have read some books of Prabhupada at least. Any question? Any other question? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow we will meet at the same time. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.